Hi, welcome to this video on OpenCV using Python on the BeagleBoard. Last time I tried to mask the red knob on the breadboard I'm using from this picture, and I tried to use this picture because of the fact that it's at least some surface, some much smaller than this one which I tried before. And if you can see, this is some kind of the color which you can see here. Not an exact resemblance, but anyway. And if you look here, it is a little bit reddish. And here I have some reddish pixels, and that is quite disappointing, considering if I measure the distance is 1.5 centimeter, something more. So go here, then I get this. So since this is color defined and it is red, then how can I get more pixels than just that? Rephrased, am I getting really these pixels here? So going back to this picture, last time it showed that changing the 1 to 0 or the 5 to 6 makes the red color disappear, and changing these colors don't make much change either. So despite the positive result on the brown part, the curiosity is, why does it work here in the same way? The disadvantage is that here I have at least difference of 10, here I have a difference of 4. Changing these values to 55, result also in a black image, which I certainly don't want. Probing red using GIMP, I get a value that multiplied by 2.5 gives this value, and for value this value as well, UE saturation value. So why is this doing like this and not giving me a complete red thing? That is the big question, and right now I can't answer it. So I have to find out what I did wrong, or just move on to another feature of OpenCV, because there are a lot. And since this was a tryout because of the success of the brown part, I might as well leave this and move on to other features, and maybe even taking another picture, because this picture is, although it has quite a few things, I think I've used enough of it, so I could use one of these scripts, because using testcam I can take another picture and then see what else I can do. So just another try with this and then we move on. For a last attempt for the red value, I checked with the darkest red I can find in this place. This gives for saturation 54 and for value 45. Recalculated for OpenCV, this gives, let me note these values in case of, and this gives 135 and 113. So now I'm quite curious what result this gives. Now I have to find the command, this one. And if this doesn't work, I am inclined to give up and see what happens. Apparently this was a very good attempt, because right now I have, let me go back, part of this red knob. So if I go even lower, and I can do that by zooming in, so I get some more parts, which is the same. And this is a little bit lower, 51, yes, and 42. So 51 times 2.5 using octave gives 127.50, which I round to 128, and 42 times 2.5, which is 105. So let me insert those values, 128 and 105, and see what then happens. Actually not that much difference, but when I look at the picture for the red values, I have red here and I have some orange here, including a very dark red here, which I could have taken as well, but considering the light, that is even darkest, and considering the location, that's not, it will be here somewhere. Anyway, with this result I think I got a nice thing out of it, so I will let it be, and we'll search for another thing I can do with OpenCV. So that's the next step, and apart from that I'm going to grab a different picture. So I will close this, and as I've shown earlier, I have this testcam.py, and the question is, what picture shall I take? let me just grab something. It goes into error. That is okay, that is too bad. Why is it going into error? Image width is 0, image height is 0. Camera image red, assertion failed in resize. If it is 0, it is 0, and now I understand also why, because the cam is not connected. So that is of course a very important point. So I'm going to and what I'm also going to do is making sure it has a different output. So test cam, and I will say it has to save some image 0, and I make that image new. And image new small. So this should do it. Provided that of course the camera is accepted and well attached, which it doesn't. Now it is time to determine if the camera is attached. Yes, it is. However, the question is why, and for now I don't think it is the time to debug this. So for now let us stay with the existing picture that I've been using so far. Oops. So this is something I have to find out. This was the this was my last result, so I have to go back to, let's say, an original picture, which has been a while. This is a rotated one, of course. And so you can see all the all what I have done with the old pictures. Anyway, let's see what I can do more with OpenCV. For a final OpenCV feature, this time I will use corner detection, which is called Harris corner detection. And for that I have to use the gray again, so that will be HSV once again. I think that would be the better idea, although the example gives using a gray value. So let me check back for a gray value. This says gray to BGR here. And of course I already used great image, which is image 0.png. So let's see if I can use that one. And here I have used that all, making a border area around it, combining so here once again I use image BW. So I think I should use image BW. That's a nice idea. So let's see how this works out. This is DST9, so I'm using now DST10. CV2.corner Harris. And again I have no clue if this is going to work out straight away, but that's the charm of an experiment. Don't forget the comma in here. A dilation. Being the opposite of erosion. Now we get image, let's say corner, between square brackets, DST10 larger than 100, times DST 10 dot max is 0.255. And then I have, of course, to write it. So I'm copying this to here, make this 19, corner Harris and 10 and see what happens. This should be the S. And let's see just what happens. I'm curious. Invalid syntax, yes. 1 comma too many. That's a bit greater than. And that's a very different one. I'm using image black and white, and I have experienced this one before. However, I shouldn't spend too much time with this one. It's a resized black and white, so I probably should use res BW. Let me try that. Res. Let's see if that makes a difference. It doesn't. So for now I am letting it be. This is another thing I can go on for next time. Corner detection. For now, thank you for watching, and to be continued once again for OpenCV on the BeagleBoard.